Hello, beloveds. Welcome back to my series, Spotlight on Influencers. I am Sophia Mona Lisa, and I am the founder of the Golden Ray Center and the Roseville Mystery School. Today's episode is on Diana, Princess of Wales. Today is July 1st, 2021, and so today is her 60th birthday. So happy birthday, Princess Diana. And there's a few things that need to be clarified before we get into this particular episode. Now, when I first made the decision to do this series, my thought was I'm going to keep these videos to 10 to 15 minutes because, you know, as many people are aware, a lot of individuals have a really short attention span. And I knew that I was going to do this video for Princess Di today on her birthday. And I've known for a couple of weeks, actually. What I did not anticipate, however, was that she would actually show up here with me for this episode. So she has been with me since this morning, all day long. It's been really fun hanging out with her and preparing for this video. And she told me straight away, look, the 15-minute thing is going right out the window because we're going to take as long as we need to take to get our message through for humanity. And so actually, by making this announcement, what I am actually doing is a big reveal regarding myself. I never have, in terms of my work, publicly announced or divulged that the work I do is rooted in my ability to channel, which I guess is the word that humanity has agreed upon to define, you know, those of us who have this ability to communicate directly with infinite intelligence, you know, the unified source field, to be able to translate that for others. Now, this is by no means anything that is unique for me. It's not what I would call special in any way. What Princess Diana is desiring for you all to know by me sharing this piece about myself is that as humans, we already come fully loaded with this ability that some may look to as like a spiritual gift, which by defining it that way kind of makes it elevated and something to try to strive for. That's not at all what's happening. Every human being, by the nature, you know, just by the nature of being a human, has these abilities. For me, because my natal Mercury is in Aquarius, this was something I came in ready to rock and roll with. It wasn't an ability that I had to remember that humans have. It wasn't something I needed to practice or figure out how to do it. It was just on, ready to go. And truly, for each human being, it's the same. And so it's really important to what I'm going to be sharing with Princess Diana in terms of what's happening with her over the course of this next year, that foundational to the message is that every person, every human being has this ability too. So that was a critical piece that she wanted me to clarify before we go more fully into this message. Now, you know, I am generally speaking, not easily intimidated or feel anxious, nervous about things, because I've got Leo in my first house. And yet, this is Princess Diana, right? Who is collaborating with me on this episode. And so I do have a little sense of, and I kind of liken it to what it must feel like for musicians who are stepping out onto the stage of the Grand Ole Opry House, for the very first time. But she assured me, when you choose to run with the big cats, you can make a big splash, and the big cats have got my back, so to speak. So and really, that's another piece of her message for humanity, because you'll see here through this slide that she inspired me to put in this 3D world, we can forget who we are. And, we can perceive ourselves to be this little kitty feeling kind of vulnerable down here, when in truth, who we really are is the big cats. We are all the big cats. And so it's kind of an invitation from Diana, and even from myself, I should say, for all of you to, choose to start running with the big cats, because that's who we are. Okay. So without any further ado, she and I are going to dive into what it is that she's focused on this year in terms of how it is that she is uplifting humanity. Now, before we even go into any of that, from my perspective, it's really important for us to have a clearer understanding of who she is at the soul level. Because it's very easy to get caught up in, the personality of Lady Diana Spencer and, Diana, the Princess of Wales, because, as eternal, multi-dimensional beings, that's only one aspect of who she as a soul being is / chose to express in terms of her own soul's expansion and her own soul's ascension. Now, having said that, there is this other piece that must be clarified. And it's imperative not only to get the full impact of the message she's desiring to share. The reason that we are going to be pointing to this piece specifically from the get-go is that she feels, and I too perceive, that because of the role that she played as Princess Diana, and the divine Leela, right? The divine play of what that drama looked like in this 3D dimension, that a lot of people missed this about her. And it's important for everybody to understand, first and foremost. What I can tell you when I look here in her chart is that as a soul, she incarnated from this ancient lineage of the cosmic revolutionary. And while many people have identified that she has helped to revolutionize the royal family and kind of bring them out of some of the old archaic ways and into, you know, the modern world, so to speak. That's just a manifestation of the fact that she's a cosmic revolutionary. Really, as a soul, she's coming in from this lineage that is, as cosmic revolutionaries, are here to assist humanity as a whole, every single one of us on the personal, individual level, in our own ascension journey. And so, you know, what I would say is that she is what I would call a bodhisattva. Now, if you're not familiar with the term bodhisattva and what that means, I'll just kind of break it down a little bit for you. It's a Sanskrit word. It's a Sanskrit word that's made up of the word bodhi, B-O-D-H-I, which means enlightenment, awareness, and sattvic, which has to do with those things that are of the middle way, so to speak. Not too sour, not too sweet, the middle way. And so these are souls who have experienced, for lack of a better word, the wheel of life, have reemerged into absolute source field. And when they come back onto the planet, there's no need for them to experience that karmic wheel. They are coming down in their full enlightenment. And that is to say, in the unified source field, at the Godhead, the source creator field, every single one of us are fully enlightened beings. And yet bodhisattvas are choosing to descend as their fully enlightened selves out of their deep devotion and love for humanity, to support and assist and lift up humanity in this ascension journey. And so, you know, we can get caught on this wheel indefinitely. And by having these bodhisattvas come down and assist us in our upliftment, in our ascension journey, it kind of helps us when we get off on the wrong track, so to speak, although no track is a wrong track because we learn from all of it. But if we get stuck and we need to have like a little boost in the right direction, they help us to do that. And so it's important for everybody to understand that as a soul that chose to incarnate as Lady Diana Spencer, Princess Diana, you know, the Princess of Wales, this is the energy, this energy of enlightenment, this intention of, by allowing myself to play this role in this, you know, illusion of what this is all about, it will facilitate my ability to help uplift humanity through their ascension journey. So I hope that that's clear to everybody and makes sense. There's like a whole spiritual study just on that you can go and look into if you'd like more understanding on it. People spend their entire lives on a path spiritual path looking into that. So I don't want anybody's minds to get tripped up on that piece. And we both agreed that before the message is being shared, that it's important and it's significant for that piece to be put out there so that people who are ready to hear at that level will understand what's being said, what's being shared at that level. Not in any way to create a hierarchical energy around this. It's just to bring an awareness to the fact that she is, as a soul, more than the role that she played as Diana, Princess of Wales. So I hope I did justice to that. Okay, so that's the first piece that needed to come through. Now, what we can see is that when she came through for that particular lifetime expression, she was walking this path of the quest mate. And, you know, this path enabled her to really communicate and build relationships with others, whether she was overtly communicating or whether the energy that she contains was communicating with them, to fuel those relationships with them was all about allowing them to feel through her that mother aspect. And it's not only the way that we as humans know mothers and relate to mothers, while that was a big part of the play, the role, in reality, it was about preparing humanity as a whole and all of those who were coming into her sphere, opening them up to the great mother, the mother aspect of Sophia. So that was the path. That is the path. That is the path that as Diana, Princess of Wales, Lady Diana Spencer, that she's walking through this incarnation, which is why so many people experience her in that way. And, you know, really allowing that greater mother energy, that mother aspect of Sophia to communicate through her, to broadcast through her to the planet as a whole, for humanity, and as I said, to anyone and everyone that she came into contact with, you know. And of course, a lot of that was done through the medium of television. When she went to the White House, we all got to see her, you know, as she toured the world, we all got to kind of be there with her. And through every step of the way, that divine mother energy, that mother aspect of Sophia was connecting and creating a personal relationship with every person on this planet. That was significant because, as I've discussed in my blogs and in my first two videos of this series, she was actually preparing the way for the emergence of the Sophia through humanity as the second coming of Christ, and enabling them, humanity, to feel a sense of comfort and readiness for this unfolding through each of us, is the way that I'd like to say that. Okay, so this year, meaning starting today, the evolutionary path that she is walking is this path here, which is this path here, which is the mastery path of relationship equality. And of course, again, as a bodhisattva, this is highly significant for her to be walking this path, because in order for each of us to ascend, make our ascension journey, we must be able to be in relationship equality with ourselves as an expression of source through these vehicles, and also ourselves, our souls, who are an extension of source. And so I don't know if you recall that when I did my first video on President Trump, I explained to you that he came into this incarnation walking this exact path. Princess Diana and myself, coincidentally, through this new stretch of our evolutionary expansion, are both walking this path of this. It's a mastery path of relationship equality. So what is the mastery piece? When you are able to be in relationship with the truth of who you are, as extensions of source, then this concept, this paradigm of hierarchies is able to dissolve. You know, they teach in the great books that we are sons and daughters of God, the divine, and are made in his image. And so it's always surprising to me that, having been taught that it still seems to be kind of a stretch for some, or dare I say many, to really own and step into the truth of who they are, which is the embodiment of that which we as humans identify as God, which I identify as God, goddess, which in fact is, you know, really an expression of that sacred union between the sacred feminine as Sophia, divine wisdom, and sacred masculine, Christ, as divine will. This is who we are. We are, as enlightened beings, daughters and sons of God, goddess. We are the Sophia Christ consciousness. And so this is what this mastery path is all about. Knowing that knowing the truth about who we are, so that we are not looking up to others or God, goddess, or Christ and Sophia as being better than, greater than us. We are that. And as those masters that they embodied on the planet, such as Magdalene and Yeshua, we are also masters, and we can relate to each other as equals, not through hierarchy. And so the first relationship that we must master this with is with ourselves, with our inner self, who it is that we are embodiments of. And so this is why both she and I are walking this particular path at this point in our expansion, because it's the foundational piece that for how we are uplifting humanity in terms of helping humanity to know their wholeness, their greatness of who they are, and bringing them out of that separation consciousness that hierarchy forces upon us, and into unified consciousness, oneness consciousness, that is a part of knowing the truth of who you are as an embodiment of the Sophia Christ consciousness, as an extension of that unified source field. So I hope that that piece made sense. Now, let me look at my notes here, because I took a lot of notes, and I want to make sure that everything that she's desiring for me to share with you is being touched upon. So let me just quickly look at my notes here. Okay, so what she wants me to share with you about this particular path that she is walking upon from today, through the next year. And of course, we know that linear time is just a construct, that everything is happening in the internal now. But this is a way to kind of slow things down for us to look at. So I've already said that as a bodhisattva, that she's here as a cosmic revolutionary to assist humanity as a whole, us as individuals, in our ascension journey. The way that she is going to be doing that work over the next window of time, should we say, is she is going to be facilitating our heart opening. And it is through this heart opening that we can more easily accept and receive the truth of who we are. And so even those of us who already feel like we have really open hearts, this is an eternal experience, an infinite experiences. There are no limits. There are no boundaries. And so however much you feel your heart has already opened, it can open even more. And so for those who have very closed hearts that haven't even been cracked yet, to those of us that feel like we have very open hearts, we are all having our hearts expanded within us, cracked open even deeper and further by the light that Princess Diana as a bodhisattva carries. And specifically how she's doing that, which is very aligned with the mission that she came into when she made the choice as a bodhisattva to descend onto earth again out of her deep devotion and love to humanity. Specifically, it has to do with the paradigm of the old patriarchal structures that most of humanity for the first time is beginning to see on the global stage, those structures starting to crumble and be dismantled. And so what she is doing through that crumbling and dismantling of those old patriarchal structures that no longer serve the expansion and or the ascension of humanity and also our planet Gaia as a consciousness, is she's specifically bringing her light as a bodhisattva into all of the deep places within us, even for those who feel like their hearts are already pretty open, even into the subtlest spaces that you may not be aware of, where there is separation consciousness that has been created within your field as a wound, as a patriarchal wound, a wound from the patriarchal structures and systems and energies, those that have paralyzed you. And so in this way, her light as a cosmic revolutionary is getting into the finest, subtlest, smallest, imperceptible cracks within us that have this frequency of that paralyzing wound from the patriarchy. And she's bringing the light there, and she's liberating us, and she's pulling us out of separation consciousness into unity consciousness. She wants you to know that whenever you doubt this is happening, to doubt that on the world stage, doubt that this is happening for you individually, that you can call on her and her light will immediately be present for you, like throwing what do lifeguards throw, those rings into the water to help pull you, to help keep you afloat and to help pull you to shore. This is very much who she as a soul being is all about. The sacred masculine aspect of her, the Christ part of her, is facilitating her desire, serving and supporting, I should say, her desire as a soul being to help in her own service to the sacred feminine, to Sophia, to facilitate this transformation, this empowerment. for humanity. And so she's saying that just as her ability to stay connected to her own light that broadcasts through her own heart chakra, her own heart center, empowers her, that you too can connect with your heart center to step into your own light, to step into your own empowerment. Okay, let me look at the next piece here. Okay. All right. So, sorry. This is like so much that I'm trying to like funnel down and translate for you. And it seemed really easy when I was making my notes. And now, you know, I'm seeing myself in the spotlight on the Grand Ole Opry stage, and I'm getting a little bit of stage fright here. So taking a deep breath. Wow. So unbeknownst to me, it looks like the majority of what she and I were desiring to share with you has been said. And there's another piece that's popping out to me that she's making me aware of, that she feels it is important for all of you to be aware of too. Okay. So when she is a bodhisattva incarnated as Lady Diana Spencer, based on her time and place of birth, she was activated and holds within her the sacred feminine overtone of the fierce protectress. She also has within her and is activated by the sacred masculine overtone of the good father. And it's interesting that she and I actually share that sacred masculine overtone. So what she's wanting you to know that is that fierce protectress energy within her, showing you over here, is devoted to unshackling, freeing, liberating humanity as a whole and us as individuals in any way necessary, because we are each individually experiencing in separation consciousness our own unique kind of shackling of that is preventing us from expanding fully into unity consciousness. So as she's bringing the light into those places, you can see yourself kind of like a magician on stage whose wrists are bound by handcuffs, right? Or by a chain, and just boom. The lock isn't even broken. Boom, you're free from the handcuffs, you're free from the chains. This is part of the work that she and this archetype of the fierce protectress is doing for us individually and humanity as a whole, as she is creating this revolutionary wave, this liberating wave through the collective consciousness of humanity, through our own individual consciousness, the wave that will go around this planet and will show up on the world stage. Likewise, this archetype of the good father, who is really, you know, this nurturing love that is flowing forth towards humanity as a whole, is facilitating the healing work necessary for those to step out of the darkness, whatever their own personal darkness may be, and allow their eyes to open up to that bright light that she is planting. It's not even a planting. I mean, this is fierce warrior energy that she's pulling, that she's holding. And so, like, if you were to say like a sphere, like she's like whoosh. And then it's like, okay, how do I open my eyes into this light? It's blinding me. That nurturing love of the sacred masculine, you know, that archetype of the good father that her inner masculine carries, is the soothing balm to heal you, heal your eyes, so that you can step fully into the radiance of that light that she has planted, is the word I keep getting, even though it's just like whoosh. Like, imagine it coming whoosh, right into your heart center. And it's like, and then it just goes everywhere, right? And so how do you open up to that level of radiance? And it's that nurturing love from the sacred masculine archetype that she carries, that is the balm, the soothing balm, the healing balm that allows you to open up further and further into the magnificence of that radiance, which you are, which I am, which all humans are. So, whew, that was a big piece. So having said this, she is desiring for me to make it very clear that humanity as a tribe, each and every single one of us, are her children, and that nurturing love is extended to all of us in equal measure. And she says this because she is desiring to caution everybody from allowing their lower minds to get caught up in the divine play that's unfolding on this planet at this time, and making false judgments about the players. This specifically ties back to her boys. She is aware, I am aware, there are a lot of people out there that have drawn lines of, you know, what is white, what is dark, who is on the side of the white, who was on the side of the dark. And she is telling you that sometimes it is necessary for the light to infiltrate the dark. And so she's using the analogy of, like, special agents who go undercover, right? When they're undercover in wherever it is that they're going undercover, a gang or, a criminal organization, whatever it is, right? They're undercover. They can't allow the people that they are infiltrating to know who they are, or their lives will be at risk. And so she's saying, be careful. Be careful about who you throw stones at. Because when you choose to throw stones, you are shackling yourself and putting yourself into separation consciousness. And she is here to bring you into unity consciousness. So the choice is yours. Are you going to allow her to throw you the ring, which she's going to do regardless? Let me back up. Let me say this differently. She's throwing you the ring. Are you going to choose to grab onto it, or are you going to let yourself drown? So she's throwing the rings to save you, support you, bring you out of separation consciousness into unity consciousness. She's doing it. She has no control over who grabs the ring and who doesn't. And this ties back to, be careful who you're throwing stones at. Because when you choose to throw stones, you're shackling yourself, you're putting yourself in that separation consciousness, and that is synonymous to her throwing you the ring and you not grabbing onto it. Kind of reminds me. She's reminding me of that joke about, the person that shows up in heaven in front of the pearly gates, and they're like, God, why didn't you save me? And God says, well, I sent you the canoe and I sent you the helicopter, and you kept saying, no, God's going to save me. And now here you are standing in front of the pearly gates. So, you have the power to step into the greatness of who you are, that unity consciousness, or choose to stay in separation consciousness. No judgment. It's okay. Whatever it is that you need to experience to facilitate your soul expansion is okay. She's not judging it. I'm not judging it. She's just desiring for you to know, well, as Dorothy was told Glinda the Good Witch, when she, has the ruby slippers and she taps them, the power has always been with you. The power is always with you. You empower yourself, you disempower yourself. So please be very aware and very conscious of the choices that you are making, the words that you are speaking, the actions that you are taking, and discern, is this in alignment with who you choose to be in terms of stepping into unity consciousness or continuing to experience separation consciousness? So I think I said that. I'm looking at her picture here on the screen. I think I said that the way she was desiring me to say it. So, having shared all of that through me from her, I send my love to each and every one of you. And she says, yes, she's sending her love to each and every one of you. And more than that, she's embracing, she's holding, she's hugging each and every one of us. So remember, you are an influencer, just like she is an influencer. So keep your frequency high and look at all of the ways in which you too are uplifting humanity. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for sharing this time with me. And, I look forward to seeing you in my next episode. Thank you.